Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents Star Wars Wednesday. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with Star Wars The Black Series Archive Edition Lando Calrissian Skiff Guard. Let's get into it! Let's start things off with a look at the packaging. And, you know, for Archive Edition, it's nothing new, pretty standard. Figure assortment, Star Wars The Black Series Archive. Then Lando Calrissian Skiff Guard. And then a nice big blister showcasing the figure and accessories. Some old school black and white line art of Lando, that very reminiscent of that old school Black Series. In fact, it may be the same artwork from the Black Series original release of this figure. Warning! Don't stick things in your pie hole. 4 and up. On the bottom, small print, fine print, legalese print, symbols I'm not going to learn, made in China print, and a scratched out barcode because I bought this on clearance. Then, on the back, we've got Star Wars, the Black Series, and again, that nice line art of Lando, and here is the original release of the figure from 2018. Lando Calrissian Skiff Guard. Lando Calrissian changed from a schemer to a leader in the fight against the Empire. When Han was captive in Jabba's palace, he joined Princess Leia in a rescue mission. And then there it is again in some other languages that I don't speak. Something is not available. Attention, don't stick things in your French pie hole. Warning, attention, Octoon, don't stick things in any language pie hole that do not belong there. Don't give it to babies. More small, fine, legalese made in China, Disney, and Hasbro print. And that, my friends, is a look at the packaging. Let's take a look at the smoothest operator in the galaxy, at least his figure, and his accessories. Now granted, this may not be Lando's smoothest look, but come on. Lando makes it smooth. And here we have his weapon. It's got a nice paint app and wash, at least down here on the end. The rest of it seems to be just molded in the color of the plastic, but still has lots of nice details in it, and looks like the prop from the movie, at least to me. As much as I can tell, I'm not an expert on props. And here is Lando's mask that covers up all of his smoothness and suaveness so that he blends in with all those nasty elements of Jabba's palace. Yeah, I'll have to say, it does have nice molded detail, and it does have a few paint apps on it where necessary in order to make it look at least close to like it did in the movie. Let's take a look at the figure himself. And there's that Lando Calrissian head. And I do believe this is the same head sculpt that they used on the Return of the Jedi. Lando, General Lando, that is, Calrissian. With his cape. No cape on this guy. But I did opt, I had the chance, I picked this guy up on Amazon for about $10. And the first release was about $2 cheaper, but I opted to go ahead and pay that $2 extra to get the updated archive, at least face painting. And you can see around the line here where the stuff was in the mold, it's a little bit, might need to be trimmed up there. And then some paint apps here and here. Not over here because there's not one over here. And then here, and it's nice and weathered looking. And then pretty plain from the hip at least to the knee joint. And then you got the painted straps for the boots. The boots got a buckle right there painted, and on the other side as well. Painted soles, or the tops painted, and the bottoms the color of the mold, I don't know. So very nice looking. Not a whole lot going on the back, but the weathered stuff still holds true on the back on that overlay. So very nice. Hey, it's Lando, guys. Let's take a look at his articulation. He doesn't really look up. He can look down that far, and I'm sure this is on... No, I thought it was on the hinge and swivel. Not hinge and swivel. Hinge and ball. But it looks to be like it is on a dumbbell at the top and a ball at the bottom. The neck is a separate piece, but it doesn't seem to want to give you much articulation. He has a little bit of chicken neck going in there. He's got some waggle because he got to cock that head to bring the chicks in. Full 360 degree rotation at the head and the neck. And then once you do that, the neck, you have to straighten it back up because it is a separate piece that moves on its own. At the shoulders, you can see the strap goes to the armor piece right here, and it bends it up pretty badly when you raise it up, but you do get not quite a 90-degree bend out of that. Now, as far as rotation, it is pinned in or something here, glued in. I'm not sure exactly what's going on here. It is pinned in, so you know you're not really going to get that full 360-degree rotation out of the arm, but it will move some. And then no cut at the upper bicep, but not unusual because he does have the hinge and swivel elbow of the Black Series, and it gives you that much bend, and of course it does swivel 360 degrees 360 degrees at the wrist as well, on in and out hinge, and the other side is up and down hinge. Woo! Up and down hinge. It's a cut here where the chest and the abdomen meet, and it gives you some hula in there. Nothing at the waist. So this cut here allows him to bend backwards that far, forwards that far, and then again, you know, left and right and all around hula hula. It will give you a full 360-degree rotation. At the hips, he'll give you that much of the splits. He will kick forward that far. Now, this overlay gets in the way a little bit, but I don't think it's really impeding how high he kicks up. And then the back, he gets about a step, maybe a step and a half back. Cut at the upper thigh gives you another full 360-degree rotation. Double hinged pinned knee, because this is a much older mold. But wow, the bend on that thing, awesome. Now, no boot cut. At the ankle, tilts down that far, tilts up that far, wow. And forward facing pin for rocker. Now, as far as accessory storage goes, pretty much, you know, holds one in his hand and holds one on his head, because he got to cover up that smoothness in Jabba's palace. Here we go. Now, I have to say, I don't like the way this fits I mean, it's not that it really... It's almost a little bit too small. And then, you know, those little horn pieces are actually in his line of sight, unless you pull the helmet down a little bit, but that jacks it up in the back. So I don't think this helmet is quite as big as it should be. But just for sitting on the shelf, you know, it's okay. And that, my friends, does it for a look at the figure and his accessories. It's time for my favorite part of a review, comparisons. And here we have the smoothest comparison in the galaxy. 3 different versions of the same smooth operator. First we have Lando Calrissian from Return of the Jedi, Archive Edition, in his skiff disguise. Then we have the Return of the Jedi General Lando Calrissian, and then Empire Strikes Back Lando Calrissian, which is the saddest looking one of the bunch. For our final set of comparisons, we have Lando Calrissian, the smooth operator himself, with, from the Marvel Legends series, Stan the Man Lee making his cameo appearance. Our final Black Series comparison, the Archive Edition 501st Legion Clone Trooper, the Hasbro Pulse exclusive G.I. Joe Classified Series Regal variant Cobra Commander, and for a 7-inch scale comparison, we have from Masters of the Universe Masterverse, the 40th Anniversary He-Man. For final thoughts on the Star Wars The Black Series Archive Edition, Lando Calrissian in Skiff Guard disguise, I have to say, for an older mold, this is actually not a bad figure. The updates to it in the Archive Edition are strictly just paint, but they do help make a difference, and I don't have the original release of this Lando to compare it with, but I've seen pictures, and I do think there is a significant difference, at least the way the faces look. And I have to say, this is probably the best head sculpt on a Lando Calrissian that I have seen to date. Before I had this figure, my favorite one was General Lando, and his head's a little bit bigger, or at least the hair is a little poofier than this one, because he doesn't have to fit the helmet. But I have to say, this has the best Black Series likeness to Billy D. Williams that I have seen, personally. Your mileage, of course, may vary. So if you're a fan of Lando, you're a fan of Return of the Jedi, pick this guy up. He's not that much, and if you don't want the one on the archive card, the same figure is coming out yet again on that Return of the Jedi retro card for the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi. So if you can't find this guy anywhere, he is on Amazon, by the way, but if you can't find him for some reason and at a reasonable price, you can always wait for that retro carded re-release. Now, I will say this. I don't know why Hasbro continues to re-release these. Well, I do kind of know. But especially with Lando, he really hangs around on the pegs in store. He gets significant discounts on Amazon a lot of the time. And it just seems like nobody wants Lando. I don't understand that. Lando is a good character. He's a bit of a complex guy, but you know, they keep re-releasing the guy because they know there are some collectors out there that want every card back, and that is true. And they are, you know, taking full on, I don't want to say advantage of that, but they are well aware of it and do re-release things fairly close together just because of card differences. You know, not long ago we had Return of the Jedi releases for the Endor, Han, Luke, and Leia. And, you know, before that they were in a PulseCon exclusive pack with the Ewok, was it Paplu and the speeder bike? And then it seems like the following year they were released singly, and now I think 2 years later they're going to get re-released yet again on that Return of the Jedi card back. So, but anyway, they keep re-releasing Landos. He doesn't seem to sell, and I don't know why. Who would not want to put this smooth guy on the shelf? I don't know. Buy a Lando, people. Well, that does it for the review. I hope that you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view that I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you'd like to see more reviews or just help the channel out further, or both, that's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.